Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. I have developed a seasoning mix. I call it the Walk with Tak Basic Seasoning Mix that is designed specifically for stir frying. It is a seasoning mix intended to enhance the natural flavor of the food ingredients. If you'd like to give it a try, I have it now available on Amazon, and I place the link below the video. A tofu can be considered to be a counterpart of cheese because they both make by a similar process. They both start out with a fluid. In the case of cheese, it is milk, and in the case of tofu, it is soy milk. And the coagulant is then added to the fluid and cause it to curd. And by using different processes, they can come up with a large number of different products. Recently, I visited an Asian grocery store. I discovered there are at least 40 different kinds of tofu products. The main difference between tofu and cheese is that tofu is always cooked and prepared in a dish, whereas cheese often eats separately and eat it raw. The most common form of tofu are referred to as fresh tofu that they have not been treated further. They are referred to as fresh tofu. They come in different texture from soft, silken, firm, and extra firm. These variations are due to primarily of the amount of water moisture that they hold. This tofu come in quite a few different brands, and each brand use a slightly different manufacturing technique and give them their unique features, and some people prefer one over the others. The texture of tofu varies from silken to extra firm, and they give a dish a unique characteristics. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to cook a firm tofu in a stir-fry dish that takes only about 5 minutes. And my son loved tofu, particularly this tofu dish, which could be included in his meal every single day. He never gets tired of eating this dish because of the texture of the tofu as well how the dish is flavored. Tofu is one of the most nutritious food ingredients, and this dish is made even healthier with the inclusion of several different kinds of vegetables. I'm going to cook this dish in my Crofton Aldi carbon steel wok. I have cooked an egg dish in this wok previously, and since I'm going to cook the tofu in it with a stronger flavor, so I don't need to wash it. I start out with about 1 tablespoon of canola oil. This is a very useful technique to use. Always try out to cook a dish with the lightest flavor, so you don't have to wash the wok when you cook the next dish that with stronger flavor. I first by stir-frying some yellow squash. This yellow squash came from my wife's garden, and I cut them up into small chunks so that they would match the size of other ingredients in this dish. I cooked the yellow squash relatively light to retain a slight crunchiness. This will make an interesting contrast in texture to the tofu. And by cutting them into small chunks, they are cooked very rapidly. My son loved this dish to be spicy, so I add some jalapeno and banana pepper. They also come from the garden. Again, I chop them up into small chunks to match the size of other ingredients in this dish. The next ingredients that I'm going to add is some portobello mushroom. They're also cut into size that to match other ingredients in this dish. That's the ingredients that I'm going to add to this dish is a small amount of thinly sliced tomatoes. My son does not like tomatoes that much, but this small amount of tomatoes will increase the flavor of the dish. I have experimented the flavor of this dish for quite a few times, and I discovered the type of flavor that my son likes. He likes it to be spicy. However, I also want to make this dish has a great umami flavor. So I have experimented with many different kinds of seasoning agents, and this is what I come up with. And this is a good example of flavor chasing. First, I add some garlic pepper together with my basic seasoning mix. Both of these ingredients will make the dish have much more interesting and complex flavor. Next, I add some spicy sesame oil. This will give the dish great sesame flavor as well as will enhance its spiciness. This is followed by approximately about 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. This will enhance the umami flavor of the dish. And then to increase the sweetness of the dish, I use about 1 tablespoon of hoisin sauce. To provide the right level of saltiness that my son enjoys, I add about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I have cooked this dish so many times, I do not need to measure any of this amount. I add them based on my past experience. And in my mind, that's probably the best way to season your dish. Use your intuition rather than exact measurement. The dish is now almost cooked. I add the tofu to the dish. I add the tofu last because the tofu only needs to be warmed up. And then by adding the tofu last, I do not have to stir the dish that much so that I will prevent from breaking up the tofu. In this case, the wok spatula is extremely useful. I use the wok spatula like a shovel to turn the tofu over. I now make a final taste test to make sure everything tastes okay, and I mix the content a few more times to make sure everything is well mixed and the tofu is warmed up. As you can see, this tofu dish is very fast to cook, and I use this tofu dish for my son as a prep meal. In addition to tofu, this prep meal also includes some eggs, which I cooked previously. It is an egg scrambled dish with jalapeno pepper, mushroom, and scallions. This dish is very fast and easy to cook. With the egg scrambled, I can cook both of them in about 15 minutes. So it is an easy way to prepare a set of meals that you can use for taking to work, or when you come home late at night, you don't feel like cooking, you can just take it from the refrigerator and warm it up, and then you will have a relatively quick and actually delicious meal. This dish is an excellent example of the application of my fast cooking system. With flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and templates-based cooking, I'm able to cook this dish in less than 10 minutes because all my ingredients have already prepped. All I need to do is to locate them in the refrigerator and I am ready to cook. If you like tofu or if you never had tofu before, this might be a dish for you to try. This tofu dish goes extremely well with rice. And this dish has complex flavor and texture from different ingredients that are present. It makes this dish highly satiating. And so the end result is that you not only enjoy the food, but you also reduce your calorie consumption. I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine. If you'd like to learn more about my fast cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.